is up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well out there. Hope you guys are having fun, whether you're on YouTube, Rumble, wherever else you are, on this crazy journey. That is indeed YouTube. And I love how like counter the view counter jumps like 100 to 68, then back to 100. Love it. It's great. I love it. Totally not glitchy YouTube, and totally not weird at all whatsoever. But no, good to see all y'all in the house today. And yes, I said it for 05 because, well, that's what I do. What's going on? Is it a premiere? No, it is not a premiere. We are live. Yes, that's right. Let me say what's up to all you who are here live today. Rose D, Danielle, Ted Park, Grant Rasha, Sherry, Russ Stringer, Not K, Vinzinger. Good to see you as well. Rose D, Vinzinger, you're going to be happy. We're doing an anime episode this week. Billy Aoki, Bella Stella, Deha Ko, Melissa Jennings, Benjamin Turkoff. Good to see all you guys in the chat today. And Lauren S., good to see you as well. A lot of green today. A lot of green. Jay, what's up? Good to see you as well. Tiger's dad. Good to see you guys. So yeah, there's another lawsuit. Another lawsuit for our boy Kyle R. We're going to get all the bingers in the house today. So we're going to be going over this one. This one is actually what I would call rich. This is it's kind of a hilarious lawsuit. It's a civil suit, and I want to just go through it and kind of we're going to get into some of the bullshit facts here. And really, this is such a telling case for a typical civil suit for a police shooting, right? It is so, or not a police shooting, for any shooting that involves or even tangentially police, right? So even if the police are the one that pull the trigger, the police get implicated, the people get implicated, like Rittenhouse. So like he's being lumped in with the police. It's very, very interesting. So we're going to jump right into that today. And also, I want to give a quick shout out because we are actually on Rumble as well. So for all those that are over there on Rumble, thank you for joining over there as well. It is much appreciated. Also, much appreciated is Danith Persayed. Daxineth. Welcome to the RPG as a new member. And also, thank you so much, Bella Stella, for gifting 20 legal mindset memberships. You guys are making us a sea of green, and it is much appreciated to see just green out there. Make sure you guys have gift memberships turned on to accept gift memberships. You can click on it when you see the gift. You can kind of click on it and say accept, right? It's kind of like a drop down. So get that there. Yeah, and I want to say this real quick because Lauren says, I appreciate the change in topic. I know that some people are really on it with the Disney topics. And I know that some people love that, and that's great. And I'm not giving up that topic. Disney is continuing to do stuff that's illegal that I'm going to cover. They pretty much are giving me infinite content. However, I remember where I came from. And I remember that I started out on YouTube and became big. My channel blew up during the Rittenhouse trial. And so it would be ignorant of me. It would be ridiculous of me to not stay with news about Kyle Rittenhouse when that's what got my channel started. I remember where I came from, right? And so I don't forget that. I remember my roots. I remember the people that have been here. I remember people like Brandon Let's Go who've gotten me ridiculously drunk for copious amounts of money. Who says, remember for 4 months, says, hello, me rub you wrong time too, Andrew. I know you do. I know you do. And I know you're going to try to get me to finish that whiskey. I'm just saying. Just saying. And also, Not K, welcome as a member. Not K, welcome back as a member, upgrading to the BLM, the base legal mindset, my highest tier of membership. So appreciate being amongst the most based Not K, and appreciate also you helping me out when it comes to the Florida and Disney issue. It's been a great resource. Cheers, GXP sent a $99 super sticker of a black cat. So thank you for the black pussy. I appreciate it. This is very cute. Very, very cute. All right. So let's jump right into this. I am not clickbaiting you today, by the way, guys. It's an actual lawsuit. This is real stuff. And Kyle Rittenhouse is implicated in it. So we're going to jump over here And check this out. So right now we've got a lawsuit by the estate of Joseph Rosenbaum. Now, a little refresher for you guys on this. This is obviously filed in the U.S. District Court, so it's a federal case. And it's in Wisconsin, right? And it's the estate of Joseph Rosenbaum versus David Beth, who's the Kenosha County Sheriff, Daniel Miskinis, who's the former chief of police for Kenosha Police Department, Patrick Patton, who's the chief of police for the Kenosha Police Department, John Doe, police officer. So all the police officers, all of them at Kenosha Police Department, Waukesha County, Kenosha County, Racine County, Sauk County, Walsworth County, Washington County, Menominee Falls Police Department, West Allis Police Department. So the kitchen sink, right? The kitchen sink. The city of Kenosha, the county of Kenosha, the county of Waukesha, the county of Racine, county of Sauk, the county of Walworth, the county of Washington, the village of Menominee Falls, the city of West Allis, and who is this at the end? Who is this Chad at the end? It is Kyle Rittenhouse. So they're suing all of the police and Kyle Rittenhouse. So they're treating Kyle Rittenhouse as if he was a cop. Let's just be very clear about the procedural posturing here of this, right? It is Joseph Rosenbaum, who, reminder, is a convicted criminal, is a known, how can I say this in a YouTube-friendly way? A known person who commits kiddie crimes, right? Rosenbaum. Like, very known to do that. It is known. Versus cops and Kyle. Once again, absolute ridiculousness. Yes, he's a child playmate. He's also a corpse right now. He's also a corpse. So they're suing the estate. So this is the people that are surviving Rosenbaum, because Rosenbaum, as was proven at court, was justifiably, and I can say this, was justifiably ended by Kyle Rittenhouse in self-defense. So Joseph Rosenbaum was ended in self-defense under the law. So Kyle can never be charged again with the actual crime. The issue is that the way that double jeopardy works is it doesn't protect you against civil suits. So just because you get out of the crime doesn't mean you get out of the civil liability. The most famous case for this is OJ, right? OJ won the criminal suit, but lost the civil suit. And he's been paying that back ever since. Good comment from Nancy. Is anybody surprised the state raised a kid crime person? Yes, nobody is surprised. And obviously he's not worth anything because he was a useless commie, protester. Obviously, he's got no actual money. Obviously, he has no estate, right? He has no actual money left over. So, not paying out. So here's what's happening. Rosenbaum is suing all of these people as follows, based on these facts. And we're going to read through the facts because these facts are ridiculous. The case involves the tragic death of Joseph Rosenbaum, a father, community member, they should put a criminal, right? That's not put on here, who was shot and killed on August 25th. You mean who was shot in self-defense as he attempted to kill Kyle Rittenhouse. That's what left out. Once again, I'm going to add in my own editorial version of this because it's so ridiculous. On August 25th, 2020, in Kenosha, Wisconsin, Rosenbaum was participating in protests against police violence, which were sparked by the police shooting of Jacob Blake 2 days earlier. Mr. Blake was a black man, look at a capitalized black, whatever, who had been shot in the back 7 times by an officer in Kenosha Police Department. Rosenbaum was among many who peacefully protested the shooting and Kenosha's pattern of racist and violent behavior by police officers and other officials. First of all, This was never proven. And second of all, Jacob Blake admitted that he had a knife. It was a matter of fact that he put an officer in a headlock and he resisted arrest. So the guy had a knife, right? Had an officer in a headlock, right? And let's put this down here. Peacefully protested. You guys point this out. Mr. Rosenbaum was not peacefully protesting. He was attacking Kyle Rittenhouse. He was proven to have attacked Kyle Rittenhouse. Part of that finding in the criminal case is that this is manifestly not true. If he was peaceful, then Kyle would have been guilty. He was not peaceful. He was, in fact, violent. He was violently, not protesting, attacking, destroying. During the protests, private citizens took up arms, okay, as they're allowed to do, and patrolled the streets of Kenosha, acting as law enforcement agents. No, that does not make you a law enforcement agent. Just because you have a gun and are protecting your property does not make you a law enforcement agent. So this conclusion here is a ridiculous conclusion. And it's contrary to the law. Many of them had posted racist messages and threatened violence on social media before descending upon Kenosha. What racist messages? We want to protect our property. We're going to protect our property from looters. That's racist now. Why? Because they have property. Is that a racist thing to have property? Because I know only. God, it's already pissing me off. Only the state is allowed to have property, right? They've got to own the means of production. It's freaking ridiculous. They made their plans known to law enforcement. Yeah, to protect their property. And even people post out that Kyle, as far as people know, was pro BLM. So is BLM what they're talking about? Is BLM the racist? Because BLM is racist. That's true. These armed individuals were not Kenosha business owners whose property had been damaged, nor were they hired by any of the business to come. That's not true. They were asked to be there. By the way, guys, you guys may think this is a frivolous lawsuit, but we're going to talk about at the end whether it will win or not. You guys are going to be kind of surprised about the analysis as we go through this, right? So let's continue here. Rosenbaum was among those who peacefully protested false the shooting in Kenosha's pattern of racist and violent behavior by police officers and other officials, also unproven and false. Yeah. Wait, let's say in the chat. He was attacked by Kyle before being killed, especially when Kyle put out the fire in that container. Yeah, that's such a ridiculous argument. Yes, Kyle putting out a fire was attacking him. Yes. Oh God. During the protest, private citizens took up arms, acting as law officials. Okay, we got that already. Sorry. One of these armed individuals was defendant Kyle Rittenhouse. Dun dun dun. Okay, here we go. Here's another lie. Who was 17 years old. He crossed into Wisconsin from Illinois carrying an assault rifle on the streets of Kenosha in open violation of law. This is actually false. He was not charged with bringing a weapon across state lines. Once again, this attorney is reading social media. I think this attorney is filing this based on social media. I would not be surprised here if he thinks the other two people that were shot were black. Remember when people thought that Kyle Rittenhouse shot black people? Remember that? I wouldn't be surprised that he crossed state lines. My state lines. I love it. My state lines, you know? It's ridiculous. This is absolute bullshit. And it's bad faith because he knows the facts by now. Michael Elias says, not rolling over and dying is racist, I guess. Yes. Yes, you are supposed to allow your business to be burnt to the ground, or else you are a racist and you are systematically committing violence by not allowing your business to be burnt down. Astonishingly, the Kenosha police, This county and supervising officials and police officers did not treat Rittenhouse or the armed individuals patrolling the street as a threat to safety or the citizens they were sworn to protect, because they weren't. None of them hurt anybody who wasn't being violent. Rosenbaum was proven to be violent. Gage Grosskreutz on the stand, people. Gage Grosskreutz said, yeah, I pointed a gun at him first. He shot my bicep when I pointed a gun at his head. Nobody was hurt who was not a threat, who was not an imminent threat to Kyle Rittenhouse. It was, except for the ones that were committing aggressive acts, attempting to kill Kyle. Instead, the law enforcement defendants deputized these armed individuals. That's not true. They did not deputize them. This is very much false. This is 100% a lie. Kyle Rittenhouse was not a deputy. That was not true at all. That was proven at trial. That's just a straight up lie. Conspired with them, not true, and ratified their actions. Yes, because they were legally allowed to do that. Nothing they were doing was illegal under the law. Nothing they were doing. To mete out justice as they saw fit. In addition, law enforcement defendants thanked Kyle Rittenhouse and other armed individuals, gave them water, and allowed them to openly defy the emergency curfew. Well, they weren't, because they were asked to be there by the businesses. Giving them water is not a crime. To give someone water. This lawyer is fucking crazy. Sorry for cursing, but this one's making me mad. So law enforcement defendants even made plans to funnel the protesters towards the armed individuals to deal with them. That's true. That's not true. They were definitely not doing that. Oh, God. Yeah, it is very true. Kyle shot 3 people in that mob and managed to hit 3 career criminals. Very true. Including, by the way, the only person here that had an illegal gun was Gage Grosskreutz. So let's talk about this real quick. So Rittenhouse fired his assault rifle indiscriminately multiple times at citizens on the street. No, it was not indiscriminate at all. In fact, anybody who watched that video, Kyle Rittenhouse had the best trigger discipline that I have seen for a person of his age that I have ever seen. I have never seen anybody with trigger discipline like Kyle Rittenhouse, especially at that age, without a military background. It was extremely discriminate. He fired it just at people that were attacking him, who literally attacked him. Saying he shot and killed 2 men, you should say 3 criminals, right? 2 criminals. So Joseph Rosenbaum, a kitty diddler, was killed by Rittenhouse. Then Anthony Huber, also a criminal, and Gage Grosskreutz, who was illegally carrying a weapon. In fact, Grosskreutz admitted on the stand that he was illegally carrying a weapon. And he narrowly missed shooting the 4th man, who jumped on his head with a I think that was Jump Kick Man. That was Jump Kick Man. So the guy who like jumped on his head and tried to fucking curb stomp him. Kyle's instincts were on point. Like, I mean, really, you don't see that. Tragically, Joseph Rosenbaum died. Yeah, he died because he fucked around and he found out. He messed around. He literally said, I'm going to shoot you N-word. And by the way, how woke is that to be dropping N-word, right? He said, I'm going to kill you N-word, right? That's Joseph Rosenbaum. So, yeah, there's no tragedy about that. If anything, that was justice. Hey, Jumbo. Welcome to the Replay Gang. Welcome to the Mindset membership. Appreciate you joining. And thank you to all those members out there and all those guys who are joining the membership here. Let me do stuff like this on the regular. I cannot do stuff like this without the support of people like you. The conducts of the defendants in this case directly caused Joseph Rosenbaum's death. The estate of Joseph Rosenbaum now seeks justice. They're seeking justice now, guys. They're looking for justice. They can't find justice, so they're looking for it right now. Absolutely ridiculous. So it's a civil action under 1983, 1985, 1986. These are different causes of action, different federal causes of action. So just understand that that's where they're coming from for this case, right? So this is definitely civil, not criminal, right? They've exhausted their ability to pursue him for criminal behavior, even at the federal level. They have jurisdiction because it's federal, and these are federal claims. Now, these are very common federal claims against police departments. Because why? What are they trying to prove here? They're trying to prove under this that they're racist, right? That they're systemically racist. That's the problem. That's why it's federal. And now, why is it taken seriously? Because there's federal judges that are woke enough to entertain these type of claims. So they list through all the parties, right? All the cities, the counties, everything else, right? Including, we'll get down to it at the bottom here, Kyle Rittenhouse, a citizen of Texas who shot and justifiably killed. That's what they're missing here. Who in self-defense killed that. Let's go to the facts here that they say are facts, which is great because I like to rebut these facts. Kenosha Police Department, Rusky Shetsky shot Jacob Blake 7 times in the back without justification. This is false, and this has been proven false. So this attorney is filing false information. It was proven by the admission of Jacob Blake himself that that was a justified shooting. So this, by the way, has nothing to do with the death of Joseph Rosenbaum. They're just trying to make the protests look more justified. So, by the way, people ask which family is suing. Rosenbaum's family is suing. This is the estate of Joseph Rosenbaum. This is not the Blake case. This is Rosenbaum. The child crime convicted person who was killed in self-defense by Kyle Rittenhouse. Yes, really. Neighbors and other concerned residents of Kenosha demonstrated, no, this is a lie. This is a huge lie. Let me start there. The people that came in, the Antifa, were not from Kenosha. This is a huge lie. See, this attorney is lying and lying and lying and lying and lying. The people that came in, Antifa, were people that came from all over. They came from Illinois, Indiana. They came from New York. They came far and wide into this city. Neighbors were not the one protesting. This was not your friendly neighborhood protest. This was a bunch of crazy, woke, insane zealots that came in from other places, that were flown in from other places to get there. So from Portland, from Seattle, from Los Angeles, from all the hives of woke insanity. This is, once again, a misframing of the facts. But of course, your boy Legal Mindset is not going to sit with that. We're going to correct these facts here. Oh, I like that. Biden's brown shirts. That's a good one. Demonstrators gathered at the site where Mr. Blake was shot. The video of the shooting was released and sparked outrage, well, because it wasn't complete video, because it wasn't the complete facts. Officers from KPD and KCSD were dispatched to monitor demonstrations. The officers of the scene were antagonistic towards the demonstrators. That's not true. That's never been proven. Voicing their outrage at the racist and systemic violence conducted by the very officers policing the demonstrations. That's also wrong. Also, what do you mean by these words, right? They haven't, once again, these words that they use mean nothing. They're valueless words. Tara Rayner says Kyle's only mistake was missing his junk, barely. Yes, I am very sad that Gage Grosskreutz still has his nuts. I wish they were removed, but unfortunately. Fortunately, it's only bicep, okay? Uh, at the emergency overnight curfew of 10:15 p.m. was put in place. So there's a curfew. The curfew is aimed at protesters and not directed against others in the city. That's true because you were unlawfully assembled. There was an unlawful assembly. And look, we can all dispute those laws. That's one thing that's fine or another. But there's a difference between business owners and property owners who have the right to be on their property and freaking randos who are there to burn and loot and destroy. On Monday, August 24th, the demonstrations continued. Defendant Beth put in place an 8 p.m. curfew, so an even earlier curfew that was aimed at protesters. Once again, none of this is illegal. All of this is totally legal. So they fired tear gas and rubber bullets. Oh no, tear gas. KPD and KCSD coordinate their response and control the protests with officers from neighboring communities. Okay, so they invited other police departments, right? Other SWAT teams, other people to come in. And help. That's very normal. In addition to officers, the responding departments brought service weapons and crowd control, such as pepper spray, tear gas, and non-lethal beanbag, shotguns, and rubber bullets. Yeah, that's good. Oh no, they have military weapons like Bearcats and mine resistance and MRAPs. Okay, nothing illegal about that. Now we can argue that police departments shouldn't have those tools, but once again, there's nothing illegal about using their equipment. Okay, I just want to read this real quick. Look at this hippie ass lawyer. Look what they're arguing here. Tear gas is a chemical weapon that the U.S. military banned under the 1925 Geneva Protocol and then the United Nations Chemical Weapons Convention that went into effect in 97. Additionally, they deployed it repeatedly on protesters between August 23rd and 25. I don't think that's true. Like my military wonks, I got to go back in. It's been a while since I brushed up on my Geneva Protocol, but I'm pretty sure tear gas is not against the Geneva Protocol. I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure that's a lie. So I'm going to go look at that, but I think that's a straight up lie. I'm not a UN expert because, frankly, nothing that the UN does is really binding. The UN can kind of pound sand. So I really don't give a shit about the UN, to be completely honest. But I think you guys are talking about like it's mustard gas or they're talking about a different type of gas. I don't think tear gas is banned. That would be kind of ridiculous. Every country uses tear gas. Every country. So I do not think that's correct. People say tear gas is illegal, but CS gas isn't. Well, might just be the mixture, like what the specific chemical composition is. But let's see here some comments. Serrano Guardias says, plot twist, Gage has no girlfriend and was right-handed on the night he was disarmed. Wasn't it? Okay, I remember, guys. Remind me in the chat. But what wasn't it like Anthony? There was like a rumor that like Anthony Huber's girlfriend had the hots for Kyle Rittenhouse. It was sort of like the alpha, like there was like a widow effect there, like the war bride effect. Like, so like Huber's girlfriend, like kind of like was like, yeah, I'm kind of down with Kyle now. I'm down with the 4 doors, more girls. Corey says, sorry, I'm late. Are we live? Yes. Yes, we are live. And Brosif Josenbaum says, I will not allow the assassination of my character. It's more than your character that's been assassinated, Brosif Josenbaum. Okay. I think mace is more dangerous than tear gas. So people say tear gas is not illegal, and or people saying that's fully legal. Okay. I trust Smoke Jaguar 6. Trust Smoke Jaguar 6 on this one. Yeah, I really think this is bullshit. I really completely think this is bullshit. Yeah. Oh, and good point from Nancy, who says, I don't think the Geneva Convention distinguishes between chemical warfare and tear gas. Yes, we were exposed in boot camp, but they didn't mean it's used in warfare. That's true, right? That's true. They're not gassing people in warfare typically. Thank you so much, Leprechaun Gold, for the $20 Shiba Inu champion sticker. Appreciate you, Leprechaun Gold. Thank you so much. All right. So on the night of the 25th, the officers from the other departments coordinated with Kenosha. Okay, here we go. Defendants know that armed individuals plan to patrol Kenosha and have threatened harm to citizens. Okay. Let's see what they think threatening harm is. Right? On the evening, armed individuals descended into Kenosha. They could be seen patrolling the streets in and around the demonstrations, brandishing weapons, threatening residents, and pointing weapons at peaceful protesters. Bullshit. Without provocation, also bullshit. This is actually completely bullshit because an element of self-defense is provocation. So this is a straight up lie because Rosenbaum had to, by the definition of self-defense, provoke Kyle Rittenhouse. So here we go. Armed individuals had arrived in part based on a Facebook post by Kevin Mathewson on behalf of a militia group he called the Kenosha Guard. Once again, nothing illegal about a duly formed militia. Nothing illegal about that. Matheson put out the call on Facebook for, and I quote, here's their racist, violent post. Here it is, calling for patriots to take up arms and defend our city tonight against evil thugs. So let me read that one more time. Patriots willing to take up arms and defend our city tonight against evil thugs. What about that is illegal? What about that is racist? Where's race in part of that? Do the thugs have to be black? Once again, that it's the leftists that are racist because they're the ones that project race onto these things. In fact, the funny thing is that the thugs were all a bunch of punk white liberal kids from out of town. In fact, this was some white on white crime. They're the ones that are racist for thinking thug is a black term. They're the ones that imply that. This is why the leftists are always the real racists. They're the ones who are really deeply racist. And what's wrong with being a patriot? So being a patriot is a crime. And by the way, it is a crime. It is a crime and it is racist now. You cannot be a patriot anymore. That's actionable now, apparently. Also, welcome Marsupio Gaming, member from 1 month, who says, ahoy there. Ahoy. Good to see you again. Sad I missed you at Anime Matsuri, but there's always next year. There's always next year. Scorpion Red Dragon says, is it true that plaintiff has to present evidence their facts are true and accurate before the defense has to present the rebuttal? Well, you have to prove these facts at trial, right? Also, at summary judgment, you have to provide some proof that there's some basis for these facts, and there's no basis for these facts. These facts are in fact wrong under the law. So Kevin Mathewson, it says he received hundreds of online responses, including people that would be attending. Responders made clear they intended to patrol armed with the intent to kill. Responses included counter-protest. Nah, I fully plan to kill looters and rioters tonight. I have my suppressor on my AR. These fools won't even know what hit them. First of all, anybody can post. Here's the thing about they say right here about responses online. Anybody can post. So a lot of these things right now can be fed, what we call in the business, fed posting, right? These could be federal agents trying to go in there, Biden cronies out there trying to post this sort of thing. These can be Antifa posting this sort of stuff. Kyle did not make any of these statements, right? The police department didn't make any statements. They are trying to convict them for statements on Facebook for Facebook responses. This is what you have to understand. This is our justice system. This is our court system. They are using literal rando Facebook responses as proof in court of intent to kill. They're implying that to Kyle. Kyle didn't say any of this shit, right? So they're saying armed and ready to shoot to kill, use hollow points, they expand on contact. Kyle didn't say anything about this. Kyle didn't say anything about this. So they're saying that the police departments knew about the plans and intentions of the armed individuals, including social media and plans and intentions of pro-militia. How did they know? It's not their Facebook group. You can't imply that knowledge. This is a giant leap to imply this knowledge in the police department. They do not have the ability to shut down lawful citizens exercising their Second Amendment rights. Mathewson is a former alderman who is known to defendants and speaks to them. It doesn't matter if he's a former alderman. It doesn't matter if he's friends with the police chief. You cannot put that on them. So yes, they do have to prove that, by the way, Scorpion. Marsupial says, yeah, I couldn't go to Anime Matsuri. Looked like a great time, though. Hopefully we'll be able to make it next time. Hey, hopefully next time, and hopefully I catch you next time. Thank you for the $5, and thank you for supporting me, and thank you everybody who is supporting the channel. It is much appreciated. So the chief says, as you know, as commander of the Kenosha Guard, a local militia, we are mobilizing tonight and have at least 3,000 RSVPs. Volunteers will be in uptown, downtown, and entrances to other neighborhoods. He posted an open letter to the chief of police on social media saying the volunteers would not be there to protect their own homes and businesses. They had not been hired. They didn't patrol acting as law enforcement. That is not true. They were asked to be there by the businesses. So this statement here that they were not protecting their home businesses, that's actually false, because a lot of those people, as they just admitted, the guy who runs this is a Kenosha alderman. So the people that live there want to take up arms and defend their neighborhood. The people that are from out of town are the ones that want to burn it down. So the police chiefs acknowledged that they were pro-militia armed individuals patrolling the street. Okay, doesn't matter. Defendant Rittenhouse shoots Joseph Rosenbaum and 2 others. Among the armed individuals who arrived in Kenosha was Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse was an 11-year-old from Antioch, which is, by the way, right across the border. They try to act like it's such a big deal. It's literally 5 minutes away, right? They're on the border. So this whole they're from out of town. No, he was there often. I think his girlfriend was there. He worked there. Kyle had deep ties to Kenosha. He was more Kenosha than any of the protesters. By his appearance, Kyle was a minor? What the fuck? Isn't this profiling? Like, aren't you not supposed to do this anymore? Don't the woke left not do that by profiling? Kyle, look, he's got a baby face, but he's not obviously a 17-year-old. Also, he was allowed to have that weapon. Look at this. Oh, here we go, guys. Here we go. Kyle Rittenhouse purchased the Smith & Wesson AR-15 style .223 with a magazine holding 30 rounds of ammunition. This weapon was developed in the 1950s as a weapon of war. Okay. Let's break this down real quick. Let's break this down. This same argument is used by the gun control people all the time for scary bad gun. This is the weapon of war. Let's be very clear. This is not a weapon of war. This is very specifically a civilian weapon. Its capabilities are not that of a military grade weapon in general. The manufacturer is specifically for civilian purposes. There are many civilian purposes for this. In fact, a federal judge has ruled that the AR-15 is the quintessential self-defense weapon that is now in federal law that they have said that an AR-15 is quintessentially a self-defense weapon, not a weapon of war. This is so crazy Second Amendment woke language. It's ridiculous. This weapon of war. Are you kidding me? 30 rounds is not enough to take out the commies. You're going to have to need a little bit more than that. It's always they always screw with language. It really pisses me off. Kyle Rittenhouse was brandishing, trying to use a legal term. He was not brandishing his weapon. He was keeping it legally as it was legally capable. He was not threatening people with his weapon. And look at this. They try to make a tactical sling sound evil. Strapping it over his shoulder, using a tactical sling designed to position the rifle at the center of his chest for rapid elevation and positioning. The rifle was visible at all times across his body or in his hands. So what? It was legal. I like that. Russian shovels are weapons of war. Very true. And also, great point. The Second Amendment is meant to allow citizens to have weapons of war anyways. So even if he had a fully automatic rifle or whatever, even if he had a tank, you should be allowed to have that on the Second Amendment. That's my position. But what he was doing was completely legal. But this whole, he had a fully automatic assault strap. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Defendant Kyle Rittenhouse was in clear violation of the law. No, he was not. Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty of 90%, 95% of the charges. I think there was one minor thing that was like a civil charge, but the criminal charges, he was found innocent. But KPD, KCSD saw Rittenhouse before the shootings, as did many officers. He was not asked for identification, not questioned, not detained, not disarmed. He was not doing anything illegal. Yeah, I think the possession one was charged, I believe. There might have been like a fine he paid at some point. I don't want to be incorrect. But that being said, he was 100% not guilty of any crimes, right? This is a super dramatic and exaggerating and also just lying, right? So saying that law enforcement deputized Kyle Rittenhouse, conspired with him and ratified his actions. That's not true. Defendant Kyle Rittenhouse shot at 4 Kenosha area residents. Nope. This is a lie. They were not Kenosha area residents. Rosenbaum was not a Kenosha area resident. I like how they're using Kenosha area too. Rittenhouse lived in the Kenosha area. Antioch is in the Kenosha area. I like how they add that. It's so disingenuous. It's so dishonest. At 11 p.m., without provocation, Rittenhouse, that's not true, or legal justification, he pointed his gun at an unarmed demonstrator headed to his car to go home. Not true. Not true. 11:45, defendant Kyle Rittenhouse shot and killed Joseph Rosenbaum in a parking lot at an auto dealership. Joseph Rosenbaum was killed. The reason why he has to put this here is if he said it was unjustified, that's not true. It is justified, and it is provoked. So I think here, because this is like a conclusion, he finally had to admit that it was a justified kill because the criminal case has already happened. By the way, this was just filed. This was filed 4 days ago. Rosenbaum was not a danger to himself or others, and Rittenhouse used unjustified excessive force in shooting and killing him. Okay, so he's being kind of tricky here. He was a deadly threat to Kyle Rittenhouse. He was a deadly threat to Kyle Rittenhouse. It was proven at trial. Kyle was in fear for his life. There's no justification for Kyle Rittenhouse to point his weapon at Joseph Rosenbaum. Nope, not true. That's a lie. There was complete justification. That was proven. There was no justification for Rittenhouse to shoot and kill Rosenbaum. Nope, that was proven. That was proven at trial. I do think these lawyers at this point, like honestly, when a lawyer files something like this, they should be sanctioned by the court. They should be sanctioned by the court for this level of dishonesty. They know this is false, but they file it anyways. Instead of seeking medical attention or any other form of aid, Rittenhouse called his friend Dominic Black, told him he killed somebody, then ran away. Well, yeah, he went to the police, actually. He tried to go to the police. Rittenhouse ran away from the scene and created after shooting Joseph Rosenbaum with his assault rifle. Well, yeah, because if he dropped his assault rifle, someone would have shot him. People were yelling at him and chasing him down. Defendant Rittenhouse stumbled and fell on the ground, and several citizens attempted to disarm him. No, they attempted to kill him. Rittenhouse attempted to, Huber and Grosskreutz and Jump Kick Man attempted to kill him. That was proven at trial. Huber was one of them that attempted to approach Rittenhouse to disarm him, stop the shooting, and save the lives of others. Save the lives of who? He was under no threat. They were chasing him to kill him. Anthony Huber was a hero. Bullshit. Anthony Huber was a criminal and was justifiably shot and killed, as proven at trial. As Anthony was reaching for Kyle Rittenhouse's rifle to pull it away without any provocation or justification, Rittenhouse shot him in the chest. Incorrect. By the way, this is not the accurate photo. The photo you want to see is the skateboard smashing him in the head, because he was smashed in the head several times by the skateboard. And a skateboard can absolutely kill somebody. So once again, selective clipping here. As Anthony was shot, Gage Grosskreutz approached him with his hands up, lying. So this is lying here. This is all a lie here. With his hands up, pleading for him to stop. Without provocation, Rittenhouse shot at Grosskreutz from point blank range, hitting him in the arm. Thankfully, Grosskreutz survived. Gage Grosskreutz is a hero. This is a freaking massive lie. 75 right now. This is the Pinocchio of lies. His own testimony says his hands weren't up. He was pointing a pistol at his head, at Kyle Rittenhouse's head. This, to me, alone needs to get this attorney disbarred. This attorney should be disbarred for this. This is disgusting. This violates candor to the court, candor to opposing counsel. This is an absolute fucking lie. This enrages me. It is an ethics violation. It's a bar violation. Graham says, nope, the curfew charge didn't stick either. Oh, true. Yeah, I'm saying he was innocent of all criminal charges, okay? So, yeah, is it totally innocent? I may have been wrong about him paying like a fine or a fee. Maybe it was just like a court cost or something, you know, whatever else. But he was innocent of all crimes, okay? Let me be very clear. Innocent of all crimes. So, no crimes there as well. And also, Leprechaun Gold, thank you for the $50 super sticker. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support of this channel with the Fighting Hippo. I like hippos, and I like gold. It's appreciated. Thank you so much. Law enforcement defendants authorized defendants Rittenhouse's shootings. No, they did not. So they're saying because they didn't stop him, because law enforcement didn't stop him, because they didn't arrest him, because they didn't limit his movement, because they didn't question him, they didn't detain him, they deputized him. No, that's not what deputization is at all whatsoever. They ratified their actions by allowing them to patrol the streets. So literally, so guys, this is the new standard. If the police do not arrest law-abiding citizens exercising their Second Amendment rights, they're going to be sued by woke, crazy activists. So get this correct. If you defend your own property and the police don't arrest you for doing that, they're going to sue. They're going to sue the government for not coming after you. And by the way, many of these jurisdictions are caving to this. Many woke jurisdictions are bending the knee to this type of insanity. This is the new reality, guys. This is a legal hell. This is 100% a woke authoritarian state. This is absolutely sick. It's lawfare. It's dirty, disgusting. Did Binger write this lawsuit from hiding? I feel like he did. I feel like Binger and Big Boy, Fluffer Boy and Big Boy, Lunchbox, they came out of retirement to write this one. They are salty as hell. And in fact, I think that, you know what, that hero language, that was used by Binger. That was Binger language. Serrano Guardian says the only thing that gave Gage a chance of survival is that Kyle's rifle was not in battery at first. He can be seen messing with the forward assist. Yep. Otherwise, he'd be bye-bye Grotzkreuz. Rottweiler says, we all know he won't be disbarred. Probably has a book deal somewhere. Truth be damned is he's probably pushing a narrative that serves him. Yeah, oh yeah. He's probably going to write a book or, become the head of the local bar association because, by the way, local bar associations are getting woke as hell too. They've been taken over by the feminists, by the leftists, 100%. I would not be surprised. Torgo for $2 said, with his weapon of war, 11. Thank you. Yeah, it's ridiculous. His crazy weapon of war, his 223 AR. Oh no. Tara says he didn't even pay fines. Kyle has no liability. No, I think when he won in the end, he was absolved of liability. But mind you, paying your lawyers is a hefty fee, right? And there was the whole debacle about the attorney's fees after the trial. That was a huge debacle with Kyle. Ted Park for 10 Canadian. Thank you so much for the thank you super sticker. Appreciate you, Ted Park. Appreciate your support of the channel, for your donation of memberships, for everything else, for hanging out. Appreciate you so very much. And really, I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. If you guys are enjoying this kind of look back at Kyle Rittenhouse, make sure you smash the like button. We're at 550 people watching now, and there's about 300 likes. So I want to try to get to 400. So if you could smash the like button, I would really appreciate that. All right. So law enforcement directed their curfew only at protesters, not at Rittenhouse. Well, that's because Rittenhouse was there on business property. For 99% of the time, he was on business property, right? He was defending businesses. That's it, That's all. That's what he was doing. That's what he was up to. And yes, if you're on Rumble, make sure you're smashing that pussy. Big quick shout out to the people on Rumble: Aaron, Spec Ops, Danielle, I see you over there, Zeno, Jacob Castro. Good to see you guys. My name goes here. Good to see you guys over there. 285. Good to see you guys on Rumble. Sporkio also, and Upon the Horizon, Dragon's Path, Citizen Zero. Good to guys see you over there on Rumble. I Senpai notices you on Rumble. Okay, so defendants were allowed to move around freely because they were not committing crimes. Okay. At 9:57, the police sergeant sent a message to all the officers that the presence of armed individuals patrolling the streets was in violation of the curfew order. Based on their observation and presence throughout the night, they allowed them to patrol. Okay. Rather than take steps to detain, dissuade, and disarm. Why disarm them? To disarm them. See, this is what these wokies want. They want them disarmed. They want you disarmed, right? They were doing nothing illegal. Callers reported that pro-police individuals had slashed tires in a nearby area. That's not true. No proof of that. Any rando can crawl up and report bullshit. So no proof of that. There was a text thread where they talked about people slashing tires. Well, who knows if it's true or not, right? Once again, no proof of that. It hasn't been proven anywhere. At 11:30 p.m., about 15 minutes before Kyle defendant Rittenhouse shot Rosenbaum, Huber, and Grosskreutz, several law enforcement were talking to Rittenhouse and other armed individuals. Okay, what does it matter? They asked them if they needed water. They can be seen telling them that they didn't need water, which the officers gave them. Nothing illegal about that. And they said, we appreciate you guys. We really do. Yeah, because they're protecting the neighborhood. At the same time, they asked the protesters to disperse. This is your last warning. You will disperse. This is areas closed. You are trespassing. Leave now. Because they were trespassing. So they're saying that it was orchestrated by law enforcement with Kyle Rittenhouse, and that these events led to Rosenbaum dying. No, Rosenbaum led to Rosenbaum's death. Pharrell Drake says, love you, Andrew. Thank you for bringing this to us. Kenosha has never been the same. Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero. How can they win? You are law-splaining to do. I have to. I will tell you how they may win this. I will tell you how this woke, insane lawsuit may win. Hang on. I want to go through the facts first because this is insane. And the fact that something insane like this may win will shock you. Akaika Taxi says, do you have some assets to create an estate? Well, Joseph Rosenbaum, probably doesn't have a lot of assets. You can create a estate by the court, right? The court can create an estate. And if you're dead and someone is filing on behalf of you as a deceased person, the legal posture is the estate of. So that's what's going on here. But I guarantee you, other than a bunch of CP that he's probably got on his computer, Rosenbaum does not have any material assets. Rosenbaum is a disgusting individual. Absolutely vile. Once again, look, it sickens me to even talk about, let alone look into the crimes that he committed. Absolutely somebody that I could say will not be missed in this world by sane and just individuals. Well, we'll put it that way. Before the shootings, one of the armed individuals was interviewed. He said, you know what? The cops told us today, they were like, we're going to push him down by you so you can deal with him, and then we're going to leave. Once again, this is hearsay. This has not been proven at trial. And also, it's not been proven that that armed individual was with the group. It wasn't just an Antifa person, right? You got to be very careful about the Fed planting, the Fed comments. I don't believe this stuff until you prove it in court. None of this stuff has been proven. And that's exactly what happened. They funneled them into the South, where they're met by the violence perpetuated by Rittenhouse. They act as if Rittenhouse was just openly gunning people down. Show what happened. Show the video. Roll the tape. Kyle was defending against an attack. That's not the same as funneling them into a kill zone. They're acting like this is a military kill zone. At all times, law enforcement defendants, Rittenhouse, and others knew what it meant when they were told by heavily armed private citizens to deal with protesters. They plan to collectively use force and state authority against the protesters. What state authority? Kyle Rittenhouse was not deputized. In fact, the state tried to go against him. The one biggest proof that he was not deputized was that the state, the government, tried to prosecute him. Cerber Wanderers, welcome to the membership. Welcome to the Replay Gang, the RPG. Welcome, and appreciate you as a member and your support of my channel. Thank you so much. Couldn't do it without you. Defendant Rittenhouse's own lawyers stated that police maneuvered a mass of individuals down the street towards the auto shops where the armed individuals were gathered. That's just the flow that once again, the flow of where the protesters went is where the protesters went. They could have dispersed and gone home. That's another option. As a result, the law enforcement defendants invited, deputized, and authorized and conspired with. Okay, so what they're saying is that but even if, let's pretend that the state did funnel people, that's enough to deputize someone. That's not what a deputization is. To deputize someone is to individually say, you are officially an agent of the government. That has not happened. That never happened. But what has happened is Cerber Wanders dropped 5 legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Welcome everybody else. Thank you so much for that. And big thank yous from the people that accepted. Say thank you for the membership gift from David, who received one of those gifts. Thank you so much, Cerber, for helping people out, for bringing some joy. You guys have access to the emojis, the replays, the members-only streams. I'm going to do one members-only stream a month. That is YouTube members only. Also going to be doing Rumble exclusives, local exclusives as well. So whether you're a member over here, you're on my locals, you guys are all getting exclusive content. On the reg. Suzanne Smith says Rosenbaum was released from a hospital where he went for an attempt to end his own life the day of the shootings. Maybe still in that frame of mind. Yeah, and maybe on a bunch of meds. What they didn't allow in was his head meds. That Rosenbaum was on head meds. That he was still under the effect of head meds. To make matters worse, when Rosenbaum and Huber and Grosskreutz were shot, law enforcement defendants were on scene. What? No, they weren't. Protesters yelled at the defendant Rittenhouse to shot people. Remarkably, officers did nothing. No, they weren't. This is categorically not true. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Here it is, guys. Here it is. You ready? The only reason why law enforcement allowed defendant Rittenhouse to walk away after shooting people was because he was white. Was because he was white. There it is, people. Whiteness. He got off because he's white and because he was affiliated with the armed individuals. Race baiting, 100%. Clickbait. Pumping it up, getting this excited for BLM, making this about white versus black. Hey, weren't the people that were shot white too? If there was so much racism, shouldn't it apply against the people that were shot? Everybody involved is white here, guys. But yet they try to say because he's a white shooter, it's okay. It's white privilege. You know, white on white crime is white privilege. Are you freaking kidding me? This is ridiculous. So saying their open support was basically a license for armed individuals to wreak havoc and inflict injury. They didn't inflict injury. They defended themselves and defended businesses. Once again, the left is all about projection. The only people wreaking havoc, for those that remember that, do you guys remember? H is in the chat. H is in the chat. If you guys remember Havoc from the trial, remember Havoc? I love that. Good old Mark Richards in the Havoc. So good. H is in the chat, guys. The only people Havocing were Antifa. Nate the lawyer still gets these facts wrong. We'll educate him if he gets the facts wrong. We'll educate him. Mark Richards, great attorney. Ass did it. A lot of H's in the chat. Guys dropping all the H's. Appreciate all y'all here. Marsupial Gamer. Got you guys. Cry Havoc. I like it. Definitely need to drop a hard retard on this lawyer because he is definitely challenged by filing this. All right. Let's see here. Law enforcement continued their disparate treatment of black people even after the deaths of Rosenbaum and Huber. Wait, what? What? How are Rosenbaum and Huber black? This is the attorney. This is the attorney for Rosenbaum. that is implying that Rosenbaum and Huber are black. Let me just pull up their photos here real quick, in case you guys don't know. Right? Actually, let me pull up all three. Here's all three, right? And these are like the best photos of them, like the ones where they're not their mug shots, right? Do any of these people look black to you? Do any of these people look black to you? By the way, they got the picture with him with that single tear here. So ridiculous. So preposterous, so ridiculous. These people were 100% white. Nobody involved in this. Only Jump Kick Man, as you pointed out, may have been black, but we don't even know the race of Jump Kick Man. We don't even know. He might be Latino. We have no idea. It was dark outside. No clue. We'll get to the attorney. So, moreover, in the first press conference, defendant Miskinis refused to make any statements condemning or dissuading the armed individuals. Yeah. If defendant Rittenhouse were black, law enforcement would have acted different. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? If a black person approached police with an assault rifle offering to patrol the streets, he would have most likely been shot dead. False. False. Where's the proof on this? Where's the proof on this? This is what their attorney is filing here. And Ann Bell Feinstein says, FYI, Rosenbaum is not Jewish. Okay. Well, the Jews aren't taking him either. Joe's not taking him either. Joe Neerman does not want him. If a black man had shot 3 citizens with an assault rifle and was walking away from a scene of a crime with an assault rifle in hand, while other citizens yelled while he was an active shooter, he would have been shot dead. Hypothetical, no proof, and bullshit. In none of these circumstances would law enforcement permit the individual to roam the streets illegally, heavily armed, shoot civilians, and walk past dozens of officers, talk to them, and go home. Yes, they would. They do it all the time. They do it all the time in New York. They did it in Chaz and Chop. Do you guys remember Chaz and Chop? They allowed heavily armed individuals to literally take over a few city blocks to shoot people, kill people, rape people, commit drug crimes, assault people, commit battery. They allowed that to happen. So in fact, all of this is false. Right? The George Floyd zone, you guys remember the George Floyd zone? They allowed all that stuff to happen in those zones. It was pretty much a free zone where you could do all of that and law enforcement wouldn't do anything. This is wild speculation. Frankly, it's lies. Chaz literally had a warlord. Literally had a warlord. So Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber were killed. Joseph Blake was not at the site of the shooting, possessed no gun, brandished no weapon, had not hurt or killed anybody, and was not climbing a car with his own 2 children. Blake was shot in the back. False. He had a knife, put a guy in a headlock, and was, in a position to kill an officer. So this has all been proven false. So this is not by information and belief. We know better. We have a confession. By contrast, Rittenhouse was walking away from a scene after killing 2 people and severely injuring a third with an assault rifle and simply intended to walk away. No, he turned himself in. He went and turned himself in. He tried to turn himself in. Joseph Blake is black. Kyle Rittenhouse is white. Literally 113 right here. Could not make this more race baiting. Could not make this more. This is the case. They want to convict on this. This is why they want to convict. 113, guys. Screenshot this and put this out here. This is what they want. This is how they want to convict. Moreover, demonstrators were diverse, protesting against black people, which included many black Americans and people of color. The armed individuals were all white. Are you kidding me? That's not true. That's a lie. Survey says that's a lie. First of all, did you even take a racial poll? That's completely false. Do you see how these lawyers, this is a lawyer, guys. A lawyer filed this. They were armed. They were not unarmed. There were people that were indeed armed in that group of demonstrators. This is straight up lies. This is why, can you guys see why I wanted to cover this? I needed to cover this case, even though I've been covering Disney and doing other stuff. I needed to cover this case because these are straight up lies. And I cannot allow stuff like this, especially in the court, straight up lies to stand. We cannot stand for this. As a country, as a nation, should not be acceptable. Things that are easily proven, that have been proven to be a lie. Similarly, protests were advocating a viewpoint critical of police. The armed individuals espoused a viewpoint that was pro-police. Literally, this is the definition of protected First Amendment speech. A viewpoint is protected. The differences in treatment were stark. The white pro-police individuals were treated good, while the diverse group was treated bad. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. More than 150 protesters were arrested for violating the curfew order. Most of those were just let out. Most of those were let out by the woke government. Upon information and belief, here we go. One of the armed members was Ryan Black, a member of the Boogaloo Boys. Here we go with the fucking Boogaloo Boys. Here we go again. Oh, these right-wing militia with their neo-Nazis, white supremacy. They always try it back to white supremacism. I mean, 32 members of the Boogaloo Boys might have been there. And because they're there and they may have seen Kyle, they infected him with their Nazism. Are you kidding me? This is a CNN talking point here. A ridiculous talking point. By the way, this is just the complaint, so this is not at summary judgment yet. In the months after he killed Joseph Rosenbaum, Rittenhouse was seen at a bar flashing an OK sign, a symbol of white supremacy and power. Guys, I can't make this up. The OK sign, a symbol of white supremacy and power. I'm sorry, I'm not letting them take that sign. I'm not letting people take the OK sign from anybody. That has always been okay. When you look up in any of the Asian apps, okay means okay. I'm not letting them take okay away. It means okay. It doesn't mean white supremacy anything. It just means okay, right? I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Okay symbols in the chat. Fuck all that noise. I'm not letting those woke, crazy bastards try to take that away. Fuck them. Right? Literally, it's a meme. Literally, it's a meme. Systemic racial discrimination in Kenosha Police Department, in Kenosha Sheriff's Department. Their support of and coordination with the armed individuals was a product of its systemic racially discriminatory policies and practices. Kenosha Police Department just had 8 police officers out of a force of 200. Maybe you should look up the racial demographics of Kenosha. Kenosha does not have, in terms of percentages, that many African Americans. Maybe this matches their actual percentage. Maybe it's over representing. Right? So once again, this doesn't prove anything. How many black officers is enough? Right? How many black officers do you need to be not racist? Doesn't make sense to me. Chris Carter, a former black police officer, retired in 2011, said he was consistently subject to racial aggression, including being called an N-bomb. Okay, well, there's shitty people in every single department. And once again, just because you are personally treated poorly does not mean it's systemic. Because one person heard an N-bomb, that does not mean the department is systemically racist. So what they're saying is there's officers saying that they pull people over because they're black and driving a nice car. Once again, hearsay, prove it. According to the Washington Post, a liberal rag. Yeah, I don't believe that at all. Come on. It's like this is like the officer. Yeah, it's like the officer that got the train run on her. Saying that, oh no, I was coerced into it. I'm like, gonna need to prove that. So then talking about other bad things they do, and then we're getting into the legal claims. So 1983, which is conspiracy to deprive of constitutional rights. So they're saying all these people working together were in an agreement amongst themselves to deprive Rosenbaum of his constitutional rights. How ridiculous is that? That all of this is a conspiracy to deprive him of his constitutional rights. Ridiculous. That's 1983. From 1985. Conspiracy to obstruct justice based on invidious discrimination. Guys, these provisions were meant for like really heinous racial discrimination. Like we're talking about like open segregation or like targeting people based on their race. This was not made for something that's like tangentially linked together, right? To obstruct justice. So saying that all these guys work together to protect Rittenhouse and to deprive Rosenbaum of rights. They all worked in concert because they're all white. See? It all comes down to them all being all white. And the conspiracy is amongst whitey. And therefore, it's a deprivation of his rights. And then the equal protection, which is 1985, which is Rosenbaum needs equal protection. And what they did was motivated by racial animus. But the funny thing is that how can they sue for racial animus under the law if he's white? This is him over here on the right. So if the militia was white and they were going after non-whites, well, these people are white. So to me, this entire thing is bunk here. It doesn't make sense. And they're trying to link it together because Jacob Blake was black? Nah, don't buy that. It's a weak claim. And then you have First Amendment retaliation, so saying that's police violence. So they're retaliating against their protected speech. Deprivation of due process under 1983. Failure to intervene under 1986. So it's kind of the excessive force. So the cops failing to act under 1986. Then asking for a Monell policy claim, a municipal liability, the liability of the governments for the actors that they control. So this is a attempt to get their insurance policies to pay. And then intentional infliction of emotional distress. I'm not kidding you here. They're saying that because of this, they're inflicted with emotional distress, intentional infliction, and then negligent infliction of emotional distress. Then negligent hiring, supervision, and training of their officers, survival, and then wrongful death. That his death would not have occurred but for the cops allowing this to happen. And then respondent superior, which is the governments are responsible for their officers, and the indemnification, which says public entities are required to pay for tort damages for employees. So that as well. And then filing damages here. And this is signed by Kimberly Motley. Let's look her up now. We are about to look up Kimberly Motley, right? From Matthews, North Carolina, right? So she is not even a local attorney, right? We are about to look this chick up, right? Because you know we were going to get to this. You knew we were going to get to this eventually, right? Let's find her real quick here. Are we surprised? Okay, we got Kim over here. Oh, Kim. Let's read about Kim. Let's read about our attorney here from Motley Legal. I'll put this link here in the description, right? And by the way, let me get this super chat as well. Steve C says, we scoff at how ridiculous the civil suit is, but the city of Philadelphia just paid $9.25 million to the BLM and Antifa protesters for excessive police force. Stupider claims have won. Put a pin in that, Steve. Put a pin in that. So I'm gonna come back to that. Okay. So let's read about this chick, Kimberly Motley, right? She's a practicing attorney since 2003. Worked in Afghanistan since 2008. She litigated cases in their criminal courts, okay, which kind of went away. She received her JD from Marquette. She got her master's in criminal justice and a minor in political science. She opened up her own shop, and she worked with, guess what? The Department of State. Guys, guess what? This has Fed posting all over it. This has Fed posting all over it. This girl was 100% working for the Feds. She was with the U.S. Department of State. Man, oh man, oh man. Are you guys surprised on that? She glows in the dark over here. Right? She worked for the state of Wisconsin's public defender's office, right? And she won. She was crowned as Miss Wisconsin and competed in the Miss America pageant. Oh, did she really? No way. No way. Let's look at this. 2004. We're finding these ones here. We're finding these ones here. Okay. We're finding these photos here. Let's see. This girl won Miss Wisconsin. Must have been one of those years where they're giving out the participation trophies for Miss Wisconsin. Like, come on now. Sorry, but man, that's kind of like a blurry photo. We got to find better, but like, this is how she looks, like right here, you know? So I don't know. I don't know about that. Highly doubt it. She's writing a book about her experiences in Afghanistan, and she's reported heavily in the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, CNN, BBC, Reuters, Today Show, and Weekend Update, ABC Australia, and London Times. You know what you're telling me with all that? A bunch of woke publications. A bunch of woke publications. So she wrote for a bunch of woke publications. There we go. That's the case. That's what we got, guys. I am not at all surprised on that one. I think it was Miss American, not Miss America. Maybe it was like a different competition. Yeah, people said she was MRS, not Miss. Yeah, MRS. So I guess MRS is for married people. It's different, right? It's just not the same thing, huh? It's not the same competition. Okay. Okay. People are saying it's not the same. All right. Hairline check. But yeah, these are the type of woke nonsense that gets put out there, and these are the type of attorneys that put it out there. Kimberly should be disbarred. She should be removed from office, from her position as a lawyer, and I'll stand by that. What she did is unethical. It violates her candor to the court. She's lying on facts that have been proven in court in the criminal case, and she's doing it for profit. Now, let's get back to victory or loss. So the sad reality here, guys, is there's a reason why they sued the police departments in the county. Because guess what? They don't want Kyle's money. What they want to do is two things. They want to shame Kyle Rittenhouse. At the same time, they want to get money from the government. And these governments are very likely to settle. Even in the cases lately, even in the cases where the cops have been proven innocent, they oftentimes will still settle a civil case because the insurance company doesn't want the drama. The county and the police department doesn't want the bad PR. So they settle the case. They view it as an easy payout. So even when they do stuff like this, even when they write these horribly dishonest, these BS complaints that they should be sanctioned for, they often still get a settlement payout from the government because especially these woke governments just turn over, they bend over, and they take it. They just take it and take it and take it. They don't fight back. We need more governments that have the balls to fight back against these woke lawsuits, and they need to embarrass these woke lawyers, and they need to push for sanctions. They need to sanction these people. They need to sue these lawyers, right? Imagine this. We're in a world in which Trump's lawyers are being prosecuted. Trump's lawyers are being prosecuted, but we can't prosecute people like Kimberly. If anything, Kimberly should be in jail for this level of perjury. It's absolutely ridiculous. But they will probably settle, and it will probably make Kyle look bad. So that's why I said, Steve C., you're exactly right about this. You're exactly right. There may be a settlement which they may perceive as a victory. They may spin it as a victory. By the way, Mr. Cece said lawyers are paid liars. No, you're right. You're right, dude. I admit it. I say it as a lawyer, right? There's a reason why I'm not in that life anymore, right? They're spin doctors. They're paid spin doctors. But there's a point at which it's too much spin. There's a point at which arguing for your client becomes lying. And I'm not a person who's going to lie for a client. I'll make the best argument, but I'm not going to lie. Farrell Drake says, yes. Who wrote this? Is Binger a girl now? Yes. This is the black female version of Binger. In fact, they're probably into the same dudes. Binger and Kimberly are probably into the same type of dudes. Just saying. Just saying. But that's what we got now. Now, this is absolutely a frivolous suit. I'm going to stay on top of this. I'm really worked up about this and this sort of thing. Hopefully you guys have liked this. You can smash a like button on this channel. Thank you so much for getting me to 454 likes. Appreciate you so much. And thank you, Leprechaun Gold, for the $10 super sticker. I'm going to stay on top of this because this brought me in, and I don't forget where I came from. I came from Rittenhouse. I came from doing Amber Heard. I'm going to remember and stay on those sort of things when they come up and when real new news comes up. This is real new news. So please let people know, let the word get out there that Kyle Rittenhouse is absolutely innocent in this and should not be held liable. Amateur Iconoclast said, I said it before and I'll say it again. The fourth turning keeps getting better and better. It keeps getting crazier and crazier, honestly. Can Kyle countersue? For what, though? The estate is broke. The most he could do is maybe his attorney could file for sanctions on the opposing counsel. That's probably the best he could do. Unfortunately, there's nothing to sue. The estate doesn't own anything. Rosenbaum was broke, right? Rosenbaum was broke as a joke, so the countersuit wouldn't be worth much. It's really defamation. But once again, the estate is broke as hell. And Farrell says, thank you, Andrew. Trust me, Kenosha will stand for Kyle Rittenhouse. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. 100%. I stand with Kyle, and I stand for Kyle. Right? Now, Kyle may make some poor choices in his girlfriends, right? I saw him with, is he still with that, like, influencer chick? She's like the conservative influencer chick, the blonde one with the large assets. But people are allowed to make bad decisions, man. I mean, bad girl decisions. If those were criminal, I'd be locked up. But he could sue after the estate gets a settlement. That's possible for defamation. Hayden says, I missed the whole stream. I'll go back and watch. Can you give me an extra 2-minute version of what's happening? Sure. Kyle Rittenhouse is being sued along with the Kenosha Police Department and all the neighboring police departments and governments over the Jacob Blake incident, which involved Joseph Rosenbaum's death. So he's literally being sued in civil court by Joseph Rosenbaum, convicted child crime person. He's being sued in civil court. And there's a chance that there's a settlement here and Rosenbaum collects, right? There's a chance. And there's a chance that it makes Kyle look bad because people will run with the storyline that he's been found liable in civil court or found guilty in civil court. They're going to run with that, like Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty. That's going to be the CNN headline. Because if they settle, they're going to be able to get away with saying that, right? That's why I think Kyle needs to try to remove himself from this lawsuit as a party, or if not, he needs to split off the other parties, right? Say, okay, it's just against me. So now you've got to sue me. You've got to prove that I did this. Well, you can't prove any of this. So that's your 2-minute version. Hope you like that. Graham, finally, Sum 5 says, Kyle should countersue the estate of Jojo Rosenbaum to recover any money they give him the city. Yes. I think he should wait, though. He needs to wait if they recover. And to the extent they recover or settle, then he needs to countersue. I know that filings have it, but guess what, Aaron? They're probably not clever enough to keep their statements in public kosher. You know, they probably have said something stupid in public. Ted Park says, how does one look at the track record of, for example, Motley Legal Service? Inquiring minds want to know. You can just go search their cases. So go to North Carolina, go to other cases, go look up their stuff. Hey, maybe send them, I'm just saying, if you were to send them a totally legitimate inquiry saying, hey, Motley Legal Services, can you tell me what your track record is? They might respond to you. That's totally reasonable, right? I'm not saying do anything impermissible. I'm just saying ask them what their track record is. Maybe submit an email. Who knows? They might respond to you. Not K says this case is just exploiting the left's lack of knowledge surrounding the Kyle Rittenhouse case. So this is all for a settlement and to use the court of opinion to force a settlement. Yes. And this is the next phase of lawfare. This is what you guys need to educate people on. You need to tell them about this. Show them my videos, Rekida's videos, other people who are covering good facts. They need to understand that these people are playing dirty. They are playing dirty with the law. They're not fighting fair. This is not a fair fight. This is a dirty fight. Get the word out there, guys. Graham says he's already countersuing UNICEF for assault. Gage Grosskreutz, yeah? As he should. As he should. He absolutely should. So, because he's got proof on the record of that assault. Wicked Virtue, thank you so much for a $3 super sticker. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support of the channel and appreciate streaming with you today. I'll have to get you on very soon. I may have an open slot on the anime stream that I'm going to do soon. So I'll let you know about that. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support of the channel and appreciate the Shiba. I always like the cute Shibas. Very adorable. So thank you so much. Also, just to let you guys know my schedule, I'll be doing an anime stream on talking about anime replacements, alternatives for woke Western media. I'll be doing that on my time Thursday morning, you guys' time Wednesday night. So stay tuned for that one. That will be going up, and I'll probably do a locals exclusive live either later today or tomorrow. That'll be just on locals on my legalmindset.locals.com. So that being said, guys, I am going to 100% wrap it here. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much, all those that came out and supported, that bought memberships, that came here and just said hi, that supported, that did what they can. What you guys do allows me to do this on a regular basis and allows me to stream. So stay tuned. I will catch you guys later. Peace.